Hello and welcome to the Thursday, April 9th edition of Titan TV News. I'm Steve Santucci.
And I'm Gina Blaskie.
Well, we have only about 3 more weeks of school left till finals.
Wow.
Just came out of Easter. How was your holiday?
It was good. What about you?
It was pretty fun. Got to see family, but now it's the home stretch.
Yes.
And speaking of home stretch, we've only got a couple more broadcasts, so we are going to make the most of this opportunity. Gina, let's get caught up on what's going on.
Okay, on Thursday, April the 9th at noon to 1 p.m., Professor of English Dan Turkla will speak on how 12th and 13th century world maps connected land and space. The Lunch and Learn series is co-sponsored by Illinois Wesleyan University, McLean County Museum of History, and Collaborative Solutions Institute. The talk will be in the Pfeiffer Courtroom in the McLean County Museum of History. The event is free and open to the public, and no registration is required. Attendees may bring a brown bag lunch.
Easy come, easy go was the lesson 2-time Emmy Award-winning violinist Damien Escobar learned when he and his brother walked away from a multi-million-dollar brand that took 10 years to build. The now 27-year-old's claim to fame came early on in his teens when he, alongside his brother, appeared on America's Got Talent as Nuttin' But Strings. 2 urban kids from Jamaica, Queens, playing a blend of hip-hop and classical melodies with a violin was somewhat surprising to viewers and unique to say the very least. And the duo quickly shot to stardom, appearing in commercials and movies, touring, and even adding a platinum-selling album to their accolades. But growing creative differences eventually became too much for the pair to bear, and the success of Nuttin' But Strings came to an end. Shattering the name and reputation Damien worked hard to establish and forcing him to rebuild from rock bottom. But in 2010, Nuttin' But Strings disbanded and Damien Escobar emerged as a solo artist out to make a name for himself. Humble in his dealings but confident in his craft, Damien makes it no secret that he's determined to gain recognition for being the quote-unquote dopest violinist to cross over into mainstream music. In an industry not overpopulated by instrumentalists, the urban rock violinist is looking to change the game. He's a pioneer with a plan, and the future of music rests in his hands. So now, Damien will be bringing his utterly unique talents to the Hanson Student Center, that's right here on IWU's campus, this Friday, April 10th at 8 p.m.
The IWU Wellness Fair will be returning to the Shirk Center on April the 11th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. The fair allows students and members of the community to explore the many aspects of living well and living green at the upcoming Illinois Sustainable Living and Wellness Expo with up to 100 exhibitors and 20 presenters. This interactive event celebrates creating healthy communities by blending ideas for green alternatives and embracing the many services that promote health and healing. The ISLWE is McLean County's major zero waste event. With the help of Midwest Fiber, who will accept all food waste for composting, this event is planned and managed to avoid any generation of waste that cannot be recycled, reused, or composted. In 2012, with approximately 4,000 attendees, only 20 pounds of waste was landfilled. So, bring your friends or even your family to see just what you can do to make the earth a cleaner place.
The second annual Holi on the Quad, that's Holi spelled H-O-L-I, is sponsored by Student Senate and South Asian Student Association. Come celebrate the South Asian Festival of Colors. Holi celebrates the coming of spring, the triumph of good, and equality among humans. Make sure you wear white though, and there will be free food. The event will be on Sunday, April the 12th, starting at 2 p.m. on the Quad, so don't miss out.
The 3 IWU student winners of the English Department prizes for short fiction, poetry, and essays will be reading from their works and receiving their awards on Monday, April the 13th at 4 p.m. in the Jocelyn Atrium. Erica Kracharski from the class of 2015 is the recipient of the Academy of American Poets Prize and will be reading her poetry. Nunzia Martino from the class of 2016, the recipient of the Department of English Prize for short fiction, will be reading her short story, Karina Mia. And Olivia Anderson from the class of 2015, recipient of the K. Nelson Memorial Essay Prize, will be reading her essay, Blood Tide. The event is free and open to the public.
Assistant Professor of History Amy Coles will present her preliminary time-lapsed set of maps created using ArcGIS, or Global Information Systems software, of Roman Republican military campaigns, road building, and colonial foundations in ancient Italy. While military success enabled the building of roads and foundation of colonies, the map demonstrates that the relationship between these three was neither simply causal nor static over time. The project was made possible by a recentering the humanities grant from the Andrew W. Mellon Foundation. So students interested in history, especially Greek and Roman history, should certainly attend. The event will be held on April the 14th at 4 p.m. in the Beckman Auditorium.
The Brothers of Phi Nu Alpha Sinfonia invite the student body to join them in an evening celebration of music on April the 14th at 7 p.m. in the Hanson Student Center. The Alpha Lambda chapter will be performing popular and classical works by American-born composers of all generations, including Jason Robert Brown, Bo Burnham, and the Young Blood Brass Band. They will also perform pieces by current members Jack Gardner, Matthew Mason, and Alex Riak. This event will feature performances by every active member of the chapter and is part of the fraternity's objective of advancing music in America. Come join them in the Hanson Student Center for a wonderful and fun night of music. Refreshments will be served throughout.
And now on to more global news. Last week, the P5+1 group and Iran reached an agreement on the framework for a landmark nuclear deal. In the deal, Iran has agreed to scale back on its nuclear enrichment and allow unprecedented levels of inspection from the UN nuclear agency for the next 2 decades in return for relief from stringent economic sanctions. In the last few days, both Iran's foreign minister and president have assured the world that Iran intends to follow through with its end of the deal. World leaders now hope to have the final deal solidified and ready to sign by June 30th.
In the past week, terrorists from Somali group Al-Shabaab entered a university in Garissa, Kenya, and massacred 148 people, 142 of which were students. The world has stood in shock as massacres appear to be becoming more commonplace throughout Africa. The group claimed this massacre was in response to Kenya's role in the African Union mission to fight terrorism in neighboring Somalia. Since the attack, Uganda has raised its security in preparation for a supposed attack on them as well. Kenya's president has vowed to launch a strong response in retaliation for the attack.
In an unusual course of action, the Chinese Navy has evacuated 225 foreign nationals and over 600 Chinese citizens from Yemen amidst fighting. A Chinese naval cruiser patrolling for pirates was redirected to the port of Aden in Yemen to aid in evacuations from intense fighting in the city. This course of action is considered unusual because China has never before rescued foreign nationals from a conflict zone, and this is only the second time China has ever used warships to evacuate its own civilians. All those rescued have returned home safely.
And now for some domestic news. Both Indiana and Arkansas have passed legislation to fix clauses in their new religious laws that would have allowed businesses legal authority to discriminate against LGBTQ+ people. The laws would have allowed businesses to cite religious beliefs as legal defense for turning away LGBTQ+ customers. The new revisions cause the laws to mimic the federal version signed into law under Bill Clinton. Businesses can no longer discriminate against LGBTQ+ customers in either state.
What's under my hat? It's a lacrosse ball, because we're talking about sports now. IWU baseball lost both games against North Central College this past Saturday, unfortunately, but they have a chance to redeem themselves this Saturday at home at Hornberger Field. They'll be taking on Milliken at 1 p.m. Also, men's lacrosse defeated Concordia University 12-9 last weekend, and they take on Elmhurst College at home at 1 p.m. this Saturday right on Santucci Stadium. Women's softball unfortunately lost both games against Augustana College this past weekend, but they will face Washington University in St. Louis this Saturday at home at 1 p.m. So we have a lot of home games. But one team will be away. Women's lacrosse will be facing the Lady Reds at Carthage College this Saturday at 1 p.m. up in Wisconsin. So to everyone, home and away, we wish you good luck as seasons are either starting or ending or in the midst of them. Good luck, Titans.
And that is all the time we have for this week's edition of Titan TV News. I'm Gina Blaskie.
And I'm Steve Santucci.
Go get 'em, Titans.